Good morning, class. Hope you are all doing good. My name is Anthony Inkum, and I'm your English teacher for today because Sir Lawrence told me he won't be able to come to school, so I'll be your English teacher today. Now, today we are going to look at a nice topic known as morphemes. And after this topic, you should be able to explain the term morphemes, the types of morphemes, and you should be able to differentiate between the types of morphemes and give examples of the types. Now, during our previous meeting, we learned about rank scale. I was here when Mr. Lawrence was teaching, and I also taught you that last week. How rank scale is arranged. You know rank scale, very good. How it's arranged, the types of rank scale, and all other things about rank scale. But for today, we are all coming to learn a new topic by name, as I told you, what? Morphemes. Okay. Now, morphemes. Have you heard of morphemes before? I know you say no because the word is above your limits, right? But today you get to know everything about morphemes. Now, morphemes, when we say morpheme simply means a word that cannot be divided anymore without a change in what meaning. A word that cannot be what divided anymore without a change in meaning. So let's look at some examples of what a morpheme. They are saying it is a word that cannot be divided anymore without a change in meaning. Now let's look at this example. We have the book is mine. The book is mine. Now, this is an example of a morpheme. Now, the book is mine. We have the book is mine. So we can see we have what? 4 morphemes here. You can never say the book. What has the book done? Do you understand? So if you add or, it makes sense. It makes a meaning. When you say the book, what has the book done? The book is mine. So if you say the book is mine, you are telling everybody the book belongs to you. You can't say it's mine. What is yours? No. So you have to say the book is mine. This makes a meaning of what you are saying. So this is an example of a morpheme. Just pay attention. I'll give you an exercise when we are done. So just take note of whatever I'm telling you. Now let's move on to the types of what? Morphemes. Now, with the types of morphemes, we have 4 types of what? Morphemes. We have the free morpheme, the bound morpheme, the suffix morpheme, and the what? Prefix morpheme. I said we have what? Let me repeat myself again. We have the free morpheme, we have the bound morpheme, the suffix morpheme, and the prefix morpheme. But for today, we will look at 2 of the types. 2 of the types, which is the free morpheme and the bound morpheme. Now, let's take the first type. Now, a free morpheme a free morpheme. Now, when they say something is free, when we say something is free, in our understanding, it means the person has independence, meaning it depends on its own. Do you understand? It doesn't need, the person don't need anybody's support, or the person don't depend on any other person for survival. That this is our understanding of free, right? Very good. So when we say a free morpheme is a type of morpheme that can stand on its own. It can stand on its own. That is a free morpheme. So when they ask you, or when you go to some place and they ask you, what is a free morpheme? You tell them a free morpheme is a type of morpheme that can stand on its own. Now, with this free morpheme, it does not depend on any other word to function. As I was telling you, to be free means you don't depend on any other person. So they are saying that this free morpheme, it does not depend on any other word to function. We have different examples of free morpheme. Is book an example? Yes. So we have and, but, there, to, and many more. Do you understand? Very good. So we have many. We have more examples. But let's take this. I'll give you an assignment. You give me more. Okay? Very good. Now let's move on to the other type of morpheme. Since we know a free morpheme is a word that can stand on its own, what do you think a bound morpheme will be? Maybe it will be the vice versa, or let's look at it. A bound morpheme is the type of morpheme that is attached to the free morpheme in order to make meaning. Do you understand? Let me repeat myself again. A bound morpheme is the type of morpheme that is attached to the free morpheme in order to make meaning. Now, when I give you a word like books, I told you book is an example of a free morpheme. So when I give you an example like books, now the S that is attached to the books, if you understand, the S attached to the book becomes the bound morpheme. So it means an example of a bound morpheme is S. Let me give you another example. Useless. When someone says use, it makes a meaning. It makes sense, right? And we have less attached. You can't say less. Less does not make sense. Not the less you know, but the less that's attached to use. So the less becomes a bound morpheme. You understand? We have ungrateful. You can say grateful, which makes meaning, which makes sense, right? So the UN attached to the grateful becomes a bound morpheme. So we have examples of bound morpheme. We have EX, we have S, we have ED, we have less, we have UN, and many more. Now, let's move on. Let's look at the types of bound morphemes. So now we are looking at the types of bound morphemes. Now we have two types of bound morpheme. This is not a type of what morpheme, but the type of what bound morphemes. Now with bound morphemes, we have the inflectional morphemes. The what inflectional morphemes, and the inflectional is spelled inflectional. I repeat it again. Inflectional. inflectional. So inflectional morphemes. Then we have the derivational morpheme. Derivational. Now derivational is spelled derivational. Derivational morphemes. Now let's move on. Let's take them one by one. Now let's take the inflectional morphemes. Let's look at the inflectional morphemes. Now the inflectional morphemes, it is a type of morphemes that is attached, or that attached itself to words to make the sentence conform to the rules of what grammar. Pay attention, please pay attention and listen to me well. With the inflectional what morpheme, I'm saying they attach itself, or they attach themselves to words. So with the inflectional, they attach themselves to words to make what the sentence conform to rules of grammar. Can I give an example? Yes. Okay, let me give you two examples so that you give me the rest. We have match. Match is what? A free morpheme, right? Very good. It becomes a bound morpheme when another word is attached to it, right? Very good. So we have matches. Do you understand? So the es which is attached to match, the es which is attached to what match, becomes a bound morpheme. Now they are saying inflectional morpheme, they attach it themselves to words to make the sentence what conform to the rules of grammar. Now you can see matching. So match, matches, and what? Matching. So the ing attached to it makes it a what? An inflectional morpheme. Let's look at the second example. Send. Send, we can add s to it to become sends. Then we add our ing to become sending. Sending, which becomes the inflectional morpheme. So example, I merged the items yesterday. You see now, you see the match, we've added what? Ed to it to become a bound what? Morpheme. So I merged the items yesterday. So you can't say items yesterday, it doesn't make sense. So you have to say I merged. I merged the items yesterday. When do you merge the items? Yesterday. Do you understand? Very good. Let's move on. Now let's look at the derivational morphemes. Derivational morphemes. This is the process of forming a new word. This is the process of forming a new word from an existing one by adding a bound morpheme. I give examples of bound morphemes, right? ES, S, ED, UN, less. Do you understand? So they are saying a derivational morphemes is the process of what? Forming a new word from an existing one by adding a bound morpheme. So with this one, we have a word already. Then we are forming another word by adding a bound morpheme. So let me give you an example. We have expense. Expense is our word already. We want it to become derivational. So let's add our what? Our bound morpheme, which is -e, which makes it expensive. Do you understand? Expensive. Now we want to form another word too. So you see the expense, we formed a word which is expensive, which makes it different from what? The expense. Let's also change the expensive to another word. So if it is not expensive, we can say inexpensive. We formed what? Another word. We formed another word. Let me give you a last example so that after everything, you know, I always give you assignment. I'll give you assignment after everything. Let's look at the next one. We have examine. Examine. Examine is our old word because they said we are forming a new word from an existing word. So the examine here is the word existing word. So we are going to form another word. Let's go examination. Do you understand? Examination. We added another word to it, so it has changed. Now, if you don't want examination, you want to change it again, you can say re-examination. You can see we've added RE, which is a what? A bound morpheme. You understand? Very good, very good, very good. So, my people, you've done well. You've paid attention, and I know when I give you work right now, you'll be able to answer and answer correctly. So, on this note, we call it a day. We call today's class to an end. But you know, as I told you already before I leave, take this assignment home. Take this assignment. This is a question to everybody. I didn't say the class prefect, I didn't say the secretary, I said the whole class, because you were all in class and you all know what I can do. When you're able to score all, you know the surprise I can give to you. And if you're not able, I'll teach you again, but do the right thing and I will reward you nicely. Very good. Take this work home. Write 10 sentences. Write 10 sentences. Write 10 sentences. And underline the morphemes in them. And underline the morphemes in them. So this work, you should be able to do it. Write 10 sentences and underline the morphemes in them. So you know the morphemes, you know the types, right? The free and the bound morpheme. One with the free, it can stand on its own. Example, you know. And with the bound morphemes too, unless it's attached to the what? The free morpheme. You know, examples. Then, so we give examples of all this. This is what they are telling you to do. So write 10 sentences and underline the morphemes in them. Okay, On this note, we call it a day. Thank you for your attention and your everything you've done. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye. We meet, God willing, next week. Next week the reward will come, so please do the work, and when I come again, try to comport yourself. Bye bye.